It was absolutely terrifying, lonely, scary. Like, oh my gosh, I can't get out.
Mary McCrary was in prison. Now, the 41-year-old is enrolled at Princeton.
Something inside of me, and I was like, okay, I can't live like this anymore. And I'm just going to change my life, and I'm going to do something to change my life.
How did she wind up studying coding at one of the most prestigious universities in the country? Her story is a remarkable one. Mary grew up in Chattanooga, Tennessee.
I had some trauma, some childhood trauma that I went through and got addicted to drugs at a very early age. I was probably like 12 or 13.
At 16, she got pregnant and had 2 boys by 17. Her daughter was born 6 years later. Here they are at 24, 23, and 16 years old today.
My only goal in life at the time was just survive and make sure my kids were fed. So I did that with a drug addiction. And then, of course, addiction leads to a terrible, terrible path, and not dealing with the trauma that I went through. That's all you want to do is just numb those feelings.
In 2013, she was charged with aggravated burglary.
My grandmother had died, and me, my mom, and my sister moved into her house. And I broke a window to, make it look like somebody broke in the house, and took a laptop. My mom called the police, and then the city of Eastridge put me in jail and charged me.
How do you feel about that your mom pressed charges?
Looking back, I probably would have been dead if she didn't.
So she helped you by doing that?
Yes, absolutely. And sometimes tough love is what we need.
In 2017, she was charged with a DUI.
And I was on probation. That violated me, and they sent me to prison.
Is it tough to talk about that time in your life?
It's not very comfortable. This is probably the first time that I'm doing it in this scope. Now, I've told my story many times in AA or groups or therapy, to friends, to other people who ask. And this is different.
Because it's public.
Yes.
It's an interview.
And I'm
that's why.
very vulnerable and transparent right now.
Mary was sentenced to 6 years behind bars.
It was absolutely terrifying, lonely, scary. Like, oh my gosh, I can't get out. I'm not getting out.
Can I ask what the most challenging part of being there was?
Being alone with no purpose, feeling useless, worthless, and hopeless. And just, you're literally stuck in this little box by yourself, especially when you first get there. Then you eventually get to where there's 2 people in a cell, but it's very lonely.
After 6 months in prison, Mary decided she needed to reevaluate her life.
I decided I didn't want to keep living like that. And I made a decision. I got in, it was called Shelter from the Storm. It was a class about sexual trauma in the chapel, and I went through that, and that started the healing process where I could deal with things and overcome things. And then I got in Persevere coding class, which taught me how to do JavaScript and code. We worked on the computers, learned how to code with the JavaScript, and that actually makes you feel like a human because you're doing something and you're going to accomplish something. And when you get out, you're going to have a skill that you can use to make it in life.
How did you feel doing the class?
That I had some kind of goal and a purpose.
She even started taking classes through Nashville State Community College to get an associate's degree in business. Her children visited often. 3 years later, Mary was released from prison. She got a job at a cabinet-making company. The Tennessee Higher Education Initiative helped her apply to Princeton University.
It's one of the top schools in the country. It's very Ivy League. It's very prestigious. It's an unbelievable experience right now. Some days I'm still like, I cannot believe I'm here. It's a 9-week internship in computational biology and research with psychology. And it's great. It's very informative, learning STEM, Python, pandas. I'm analyzing a video game to make the basic humanities of a community, why people help each other, why people don't. So there's a video game that we analyze the data using coding and data analysis through Python and pandas and Matplotlib and Seaborn, and we pull out the data to answer these questions on a different scale.
And while she's studying at Princeton, she's also living on its campus in New Jersey.
It's interesting because most college students are in their early 20s, late teens in a dorm room. How is that for you being 40 and in a dorm room?
It's an experience I feel like everybody should have at least once. And this is my first time experiencing it. So I had children young, so I didn't go to college until now. It's an experience.
What has been the most incredible part of this experience for you?
just seeing the world, seeing that there's more, because I've never really left Tennessee. So I just saw the ocean for the first time 2 weeks ago. So actually it was Princeton staff. They were like, you're going to see the ocean. That's crazy that you have not. And so they took me so I could see the ocean for the first time.
And what was your reaction seeing the ocean?
Oh my gosh, it's breathtaking. I want to be a beach bum and just stare at the ocean for the rest of my life. It's beautiful.
Did you put your feet in the water?
I did. It's very cold.
Yeah, that's New Jersey for you.
While Mary's away from her family, she still talks to her kids several times a day. When the internship's over, Mary has an idea for her next goal.
The goal is to go back home and hopefully make change for the other ladies that are in prison so that they can get more opportunities like this so they don't recidivize, to bridge those gaps and break barriers.
But do you want a job in coding?
It's possible, yes. That's still undecided at this moment. What I want to do is open my own business, and I have a business plan. It's Mad Hatter Therapy.
She hopes it can change someone else's path like hers was changed.
And I'm so grateful and just appreciate the second chance life has given me. And I'm just trying to make the most of it and be an example that things are possible and you can do it and just make a way for others.
I'm Leigh Scheps for Inside Edition Digital.